JayZ's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them.
Diddy's empire once stood as a symbol of success, style, and superstardom. From shaping hip-hop culture to hosting the most extravagant parties, Sean Combs had it all: money, power, and influence. But now, the image he spent decades building is unraveling in the harsh light of public scrutiny. A federal indictment pulls no punches, accusing him of running a criminal enterprise that used his fame and businesses as a front for sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, and even bribery. But it's not just the charges, it's the disturbing details. The infamous freak-off parties are described as drug-fueled marathons involving sex workers of all genders, reportedly orchestrated and filmed without consent. Hidden cameras, secret rooms, elite guest lists. It's a scandal too big to stay contained. And now the ripple effects are spreading. Rumors suggest Diddy has been quietly cooperating with authorities, offering names and information, perhaps long before his arrest. Some speculate he's been trading secrets for time and protection. That's where things take an even darker turn. Federal investigators now want to know who attended those parties. What did they witness or participate in? Celebrities, executives, even politicians. If they were in the room, knowingly or not, they could soon be caught in the crossfire. As the pressure intensifies, eyes are turning toward one of Diddy's closest allies, JayZ, because if Diddy's going down, he may not be going down alone.
Do-si-do does not make you a country artist. She did a whole commercial for the Christmas failure. I keep thinking everybody forgot. Her little section was the entertainment for the game. That's what they got for Christmas. Some old running around in a drawers with chaps on, who advertised the song with a banjo. And we got no banjo. They did so many do-si-do tricks, had Blue Ivy out there making mistakes and looking wild, forgetting where she was. And they keep putting this little girl in dresses where her cleavage is pushed.
When JayZ's name began trending amid the unfolding Diddy scandal, it wasn't because of court documents. It was because of his silence. A longtime friend and business partner, JayZ had shared decades of history with Diddy, rising through the same industry circles, attending the same exclusive events, and publicly supporting one another. But as federal agents raided Diddy's properties and serious allegations surfaced, JayZ disappeared from the conversation, not a statement, not a word. In an age where silence is loud, that absence sparked questions. The buzz intensified when 50 Cent posted a now viral meme of JayZ's face on a milk carton labeled missing, blending humor with suspicion. Then came Jaguar Wright, whose explosive claims painted JayZ in an even darker light, accusing him of deeds worse than Diddy's, hidden behind his polished persona. As legal experts suggest JayZ could be called as a witness, or even implicated, the question shifts from whether he was involved to how deeply. If Diddy decides to talk, the fallout could be seismic.
For 45 years, and I couldn't stop. I read this silly book by Alan Carr, The Easy Way to Stop Smoking. And it's a silly title, right? And it sat on, my son gave it to me. He said, "Stop smoking, Dad. Here's this book." I left it on. I used to walk past the bookshelf and go, "Dumb book, dumb title." My doctor said, "You have first stage emphysema." And I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." He said, "Yeah, you got to get the smile." I said, "I better read this book."
What did the book tell you?
It didn't tell you you're bad, you're going to die. It didn't tell you all that sort of stuff. They had a chapter where it says, okay, we focused on the negative aspects of smoking. Now we're going to talk about the good aspects of smoking in the next chapter. And then you turn the page and the page is empty. The whole thing was a mind trick, but it worked. And I don't know why it worked.
There's just been a shocking revelation from federal authorities regarding a highly private and scandalous video involving none other than JayZ and Beyonce, reportedly taken during a wild party hosted by Diddy. Apparently during a Homeland Security raid on Diddy's properties, some rather intriguing discoveries were made, including compromising footage featuring numerous beloved celebrities caught in scandalous situations. Speculation is rife that Diddy intentionally leaked this footage to authorities as a form of revenge against the Carters, allegedly due to their perceived lack of support during his legal battles. It seems he's on a mission to embarrass them at any cost. Adding fuel to the fire, an unsettling audio clip allegedly featuring Meek Mill and Diddy has surfaced, courtesy of Diddy's former bodyguard.
Hidden cameras and dark secrets. What Diddy might have on JayZ.
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is JayZ. The proof is that.
Hidden cameras and dark secrets, what Diddy might have on JayZ.
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say something?
I mean, probably not, considering she's going to be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is JayZ. The proof is that.
One of the most chilling rumors to surface in the Diddy scandal isn't about what people saw. It's about what might have been recorded. Former insiders and security staff claim Diddy's mansions were wired with hidden cameras, audio bugs, and surveillance systems in nearly every room. It wasn't just for safety, it was allegedly for leverage, for blackmail, for control. Those infamous freak-off parties weren't just chaotic, they were setups. And if JayZ ever attended, as many believe, he may have been caught on tape. Not necessarily committing a crime, but possibly doing something that could shatter his carefully crafted image. That fear alone could explain his silence. Behind the scenes, his legal team is reportedly working overtime, bracing for damage control. Because the real threat isn't just legal, it's psychological. Diddy is accused of using those recordings to keep people loyal, compliant, and quiet. But now, with serious prison time looming, some believe he might weaponize those tapes as bargaining chips. JayZ hasn't said a word, but silence has an expiration date, and when the truth starts to leak, it won't be quiet.
Beyonce's alleged role, control, compliance, and a gilded cage.
Sometimes you have to tell Diddy no.
Oh, man, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, man.
Sean Diddy Combs' alleged list of accomplishments to be revealed soon. The names will shock you. Attorney says, whoa.
I think he's going to sing, if I got invited to the white party, I'd have gone.
Especially if you didn't know.
Of course, no one knew. No one
right.
knew.
If
And
you
then
don't know,
find
you're just
out.
a celebrity, and you know, oh, Jennifer Lopez is going to be there. Oh, Rick
That's what I'm
Ross is
saying.
going to be there. Everyone's going to be there.
And
that would be a cool place. I want to meet.
As JayZ's name continues to get pulled deeper into the Diddy scandal, questions are now being raised about Beyonce's role as well. For years, the Carters have been seen as the ultimate power couple, an untouchable image of wealth, talent, and unity. But behind that polished facade, insiders suggest a more complicated reality. Some rumors claim Beyonce wasn't just a supportive partner, but an active participant in shaping and controlling JayZ's public life. Even allegedly managing who he interacted with at Diddy's events, selecting women for him, keeping tabs, and doing whatever it took to protect their brand. Others paint a darker picture, portraying Beyonce not as a partner, but as a prisoner. According to Jaguar Wright, Beyonce is closely monitored, instructed on what to wear, eat, say, and do. She's been described not as a wife, but as an employee, an asset owned by her husband. This has sparked what some are now calling the Free Beyoncé movement, a growing plea to look beyond the glamour and acknowledge what might be happening behind closed doors. Whispers suggest she's preparing for a quiet exit, moving assets, making solo appearances, and dropping subtle signals. If a divorce happens, it could eclipse Will and Jada, Kim and Kenny, because the collapse of the Carter empire would be nothing short of historic.
Lawsuit coming with Jay. The part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
To us, black excellence.
that had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch.
Oh,
Like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm going to be with you is this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
Now, I bet you want to know why JayZ and Beyonce's name keep popping up around the whole Diddy thing. Well, that's why I'm here. Now, first thing you got to know is when somebody like Diddy gets taken down, things always start out as a rumor. Diddy has had rumors floating around for like decades. Well, JayZ had a problem. He right there in the corner, by the way. JayZ has had a few rumors himself, but more like speculation. People see JayZ in a picture of R. Kelly. They're like, I guess they both make music. Then JayZ with Harvey Weinstein. People are like, I guess they both do business. Then, of course, JayZ with Diddy. Now, hold on. Here's the thing. JayZ and Diddy go way back. Like back to the days when they were both coming up. So you could say they might just have a lot of respect for each other. But on the other hand, people are like, well, if you've known each other that long, JayZ, you must have known what Diddy was on. But JayZ has always had a history of keeping quiet, which brings us to Aaliyah. Now, I'm sure y'all remember R. Kelly dated Aaliyah when she literally needed her parents' permission slip to get married. Now, if I remember correctly, her parents got the permission slip and said, marry who? And that's how this whole thing got exposed. Now, a lot of people in the industry actually knew about this relationship because they would work with R. Kelly. They would be in the studio with R. Kelly. Now, according to Dame Dash, who listened closely, was JayZ's first business partner and also dated Aaliyah when she was 21. He said this is how it went. He said he didn't want anything to do with R. Kelly because everyone knew what type of timing R. Kelly was on. He looks over at JayZ and JayZ's out here creating collab albums with R. Kelly. But then he saw why. For starters, everyone had a crush on Aaliyah. People were waiting down the clock until she turned 18. But JayZ decided to get a head start. Now, there was absolutely no proof that JayZ went after Aaliyah, but people were like,
JayZ's past is resurfacing with disturbing allegations that could shake the foundations of his public image. As he remains silent, more voices are speaking up, and what they're saying could change everything. One of the darkest rumors surrounding him is the claim that he groomed Beyonce from a young age. While the public narrative states they met when she was 18, insiders allege he was already involved in her life when she was just 16. What began as mentorship may have crossed troubling boundaries, and it doesn't end there. Behind the carefully crafted PR campaigns and flawless public appearances, unsettling claims are emerging about the control JayZ allegedly exercised over Beyonce's life, dictating everything from her diet and wardrobe to her stage presence. It's said that every detail of her life has been monitored, controlled, and approved by him.
Nation is geared up to produce the most watched live performance of the year, the Super Bowl halftime show. And of course, he was there to cheer on his wife, who took home the coveted award of Album of the Year at this year's Grammys. So in light of all of that, he's also making a surprising move in his ongoing back and forth with Tony Buzbee. Now, at this point, we all know who the Texas-based attorney is. You know, the same one who said that he had more than 100 accusers ready to file lawsuits against Diddy.
After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
And of course, we know later that Jane Doe, who is being represented by the Texas attorney, filed a suit a couple weeks after this press conference accusing Diddy of raping her when she was just 13 years old. Then amended that complaint weeks later, adding JayZ, Sean Carter's name to that child rape lawsuit alongside Diddy. A female celebrity was also mentioned in that complaint as well. However, her identity has since remained a mystery. Since that happened, first, let me say both Sean Combs and Sean Carter have denied those accusations. Diddy's team said, quote, "In court, the truth will prevail, that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor." Meanwhile, JayZ made a scathing statement of denial, mainly targeting Tony Buzbee. He said in part, quote, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Buzbee. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny." Now that statement went on to call Tony Buzbee a deplorable human, a man with no valor, and an ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Now, while Diddy sits in a jail cell awaiting trial, by the way, pleaded not guilty to those charges, denies all the accusations,